Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Esoteric Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? My little breakfast right here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's a beautiful breakfast, ain't it? I just smashed it, you know what I'm saying? Before we even get in this, because y'all know I channel God. I ain't got no filters or nothing like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Take this grape, the strawberry. At the same time, that friction open up portals to a lot of other different places. Now we go. You know what I'm saying? Now check this out. What I'm about to give you, this is some real esoteric knowledge. Not this little punk ass shit everybody else be giving you. That's filtered through other shit. Oh, don't talk like that. All this kind of language. Look, you're getting raw shit right now. You see what I'm saying? Real shit. So, it don't matter. My shit is, it don't matter if you believe it or not. It's the motherfucking truth. And you're going to see it one way or another in your motherfucking experience, in your whole existence. Now, check this out. When I'm finna run down, I need to beat over your head. Everything is frequency, vibration, and energy. So now that you understand that, you know that it's only 9 dimensions. It's only 9 numbers, 9 dimensions. Anything added or anything of that, it's a compound. It's other than. It's not what it is. So you need to understand that right now. I need to beat that over your head. Now, what I'm finna give you the understanding of why you can perceive things and others may not be able to perceive things, and conscious levels and beings, and why you are a certain being and why you are in the density you are. Now, when we say 9 dimensions, dimensions mean density. So that means what level of density are you in. So that's the lesser the density, the more the experience. The higher the density, the lesser the experience. So basically, the more dense, more physical, and things of that nature. So this is going to tell you what kind of being you're on and what kind of level path and how it actually works, so people can understand really life after death or reincarnation or however you want to say it in your language. This is your spirit and your soul and the conscious level on the path and what kind of vehicle you pick and everything. Now check this out. You are a 3-dimensional being, right? So you are in 3D. Now look, there's frequency vibrations, right, in every dimension, because everything is frequency vibrations, right? So you could be vibrating, your frequency could be vibrating very high in a certain dimension, and it could be vibrating very low in a dimension. Now, if you are a human right now, right, you are having the 3D experience, right? You're having a 3D experience. But as far as your spiritual conscious path, your spiritual conscious path is right now just went into 5D. I say like a little bit around 2012, it went into 5D. So here's what I mean by that. Now, you have, it's 9 dimensions, right? You have beings. There's living beings, and you on every dimension also. So these beings is part of you. This is why it's important to get with your soul group, your spiritual path, and things of that nature. But that's another video. Look, there's different versions, and everything is in the same spectrum, but the level of consciousness, aka the level of light able to be perceived and put out by a being, is where that being is going to be at. Now, where that being is at as far as dimensions. Right now, since you're having a 3D, you are a 3D being, right? So every experience you're going to have, your vessel and your soul path is coming in to the 3D experience, the 3D frequency, right? Now, your spirit and your soul path, this is outside of you. They're in all the frequency vibrations. But the level of evolution as far as a species, as far as a vessel, letting you know you're in the 3D. So you came from 1D, 2D, and you're now in 3D. So the level of consciousness, the level of light, the level of space, the level of the energy and the vibration frequency that you're receiving is 3D. So your spirit, that's another video to get into where your soul, your spirit and soul at, because we know everything is frequency, vibration, energy. Your spirit is attached to the frequency, your soul is attached to the vibration, your body is attached to the energy, which is the dimension you're going to be in. That's the level of energy, frequency, vibration you're going to experience, right? So you being at 3D, your vessel is 3D. So you're going to have a 3D experience. You may experience things from 4D, from 5D, because as a 3D being, right, this level of awareness is able to tap in to 2D, 3D, and a little bit of 4D. You know what I'm saying? That your spirit and your soul, the less dense bodies of you, have to experience the other frequency vibrations of the dimension, but your physical can't. It only can experience the 3D. Now, reason why I say you're on 3D, because you have to understand this is an evolution right now. So if you're on 3D right now, then that means you've been on 1D and 2D, and you can look at representations of vehicles that's still in 1D and 2D. See, they can't perceive you, but you can perceive them. That's probably like moths and not probably moths, but like, you know, like bugs, like snails and stuff like that. They still on those dimensions. So they're experiencing the realm of reality on those dimensions. So they may only could go to 2D. You know what I'm saying? Then once they experience that evolution, they go into 2D, then they can get into a 3D body. You see what I'm saying? You look at them as 3D because you're having a 3D experience. But they may not see it that way. They may only see a straight line or something like that. But alright, but look. So you have a 3D body, right? So that's letting you know your conscious awareness is on 3D. Now, evolution is going past now, so eventually everybody is going to be on 4D. You see what I'm saying? So the higher it is, the less dense. So we already have beings on 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D, 9D, 9 dimension. You see what I'm saying? Now, reason why in my previous video I told you the next after the human vessel, after the 3D experience, is the oversoul experience. Now, the oversoul experience is 4D. This is what you're getting trained for. But you may have to experience 3D on and on and on until you understand that. But you have mechanisms to try to get you understand the dimensions. Now, let me break down the dimensions so people can understand the dimensions, right? Now, you have a left brain aspect of it and a right brain aspect of it. Now, the left brain aspect of it is the center is the dot, the 1 degree is a line, 2 degree is a line, a point to another point, 3 degree is a circle, you know what I'm saying? 4 degree is it, then it start to draw the geometrical shapes, and it eventually end up looking like trying to be a square circle or macabre on paper, right? Then you have the right brain side of it, which is the inner world, not the external, the internal. So then you have the 0 to point, that's just being. That's like meditating, stand still, just being you, just being. Then you have then you have the first dimension. The first dimension is being selfish or only thinking about self. You know what I'm saying? That you see how I play out every day. 2 dimension, relating to somebody, compromising and things of that nature. 3rd dimension, your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? Being able to be consciously aware of that you're in a surroundings, you're in a globe, you're in something round. You see what I'm saying? 4th dimension, being a judge of what you're surrounded in now. Now you're judging, aka learning, gaining information about your surroundings. Anytime you're learning and trying to understand your surroundings, that's you're in the 4th. You're able to take the 3D dimensional body and tap into the 4th dimension using your spirit and your soul, because that's less dense. But the evolutionary path you're on is in of the kind of vessel that you're able to carry you're only able to carry a 3-dimensional vessel, because that's a consciousness awareness. But let's not get off track. Now, 5D is becoming the authority of your surroundings. So now that you learn, aka became the start to judging your surroundings, which was the 4th dimension, whatever, based upon what you have learned, the way that you act on it, now acting on your circumstances and your surroundings, that's 5D. So anytime you act on what you know, act on the knowledge of what you know about your surroundings, that's jumping into 5D. Now 6D is becoming the judge of your surroundings. So that means that you're the one telling people what stuff mean. You're the one who got the real structure of it. It's like that's becoming a judge. That's 6. 3, 6, 9 is they got different altitudes to them. So that's 6. Becoming a judge of your surroundings. You see what I'm saying? So people come to you to ask you for what stuff mean, or you have experience at this, that, and 3rd. Now, the 7th dimension. The 7th dimension is now creating. You know what I'm saying? Creating what you think was seen. See, all these work simultaneously. They all, because the higher up it gets, the less dense it is. So it happened way faster. And the more dense it is, like the less in dimensions is, the more dense it is, and the more time, the more experience for something to take place. You see what I'm saying? Now, that's the 7th dimension. Now, the 8th dimension is you experiencing that. You experiencing what you just created. So you taking your own time, your own experience to experience what you created. So for you to learn the rights and wrongs and things of that nature of what you're putting out into the universe, of the timeline you're creating for people, the frequencies you're creating. You see what I'm saying? Then the ninth dimension is the wisdom and knowledge. You know what I'm saying? The wisdom and knowledge that you have from this. So you can either teach this to someone, or you can either settle into the experience, or you can either move on and go to the next level, or start back over at 0, or start back over at 1 and hit the 369 over again. You know what I'm saying? Because every time you hit, when 1, 2, 3, it hits a 3, that's a surrounding, that's an orb. Then 4, 5, 6, boom, that's another orb. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Then 7, 8, 9, boom, then that's another orb. Then it's up to you if you want to go back to 0 or go in between, because you have all wisdom and knowledge. That's why if you're a number 9 person, which I am, you understand all realms of realities of experiences, and able to teach that to others without actually experiencing it yourself, because you already experienced it in a previous or future time already. So you already have the knowledge based on it. You see what I'm saying? So now the vessel that you're able to carry is on this path also, because you have 3 bodies. You have a frequency, vibration, and an energy. Now your energy body, right? Now, what I was just speaking about is your soul and your spirit. It's like one of the same. Your frequency is your ideas, thoughts, your spirit, the things that you carry. It just shoots off. Now, for it to shoot off and take shape and form and go into a realm of reality and be able to do a bunch of different circle type things, you know what I'm saying? It has to go into a vibration. So that's a feeling, an emotion. You know what I'm saying? Then once it experiences that much enough, it goes into density. Now, as far as your energy body, as far as your vessel, it's only on the evolutionary path at 3 degrees. At 3 dimensions, the 3D. So your conscious awareness of light that you can receive to perceive, and all the information or whatever you can receive is only 3-dimensional. But you can perceive higher and lower ones because you're in 3D. So 3D, you came from 1 and 2D. So you experienced those already. So you can perceive those, and you can perceive 4 and 5 because those are what you're training to go into as far as the energy form of your body. You see what I'm saying? So right now, look, you're slowly but surely coming into 4D. One second. Alright, now the coming of the 4D, right? Now check this out. As a 3D vessel, right? As a vessel as a whole, now it's on 3D. So as a conscious, as your spirit, your spiritual travel and stuff like that, as a whole, everybody's going in 5D. So if you miss the shift, you're going to be stuck in 3D. This is what people mean, even when they don't be knowing what they mean. Like people you be watching on the internet, like it's truth in everything, but everything ain't truth. So you can find truth in lies. You know what I'm saying? You can even find the truth in a lie and things of that nature. But for the most part, that's what you have to understand. So you might hear the truth into something, but at the same time, you have to decipher from the truth. So for an example, now you're going to witness whole 3D. Now as a spiritual path, whether you choose to keep experiencing this or not, as an evolution, the spirit is going into 5D. It's leaving 4D. You've been in 4D for the last 2,000, training as a spirit to go into 4D for the last 2,000 years. Now you just taking your power back. Now you got ran by other intellectual beings and other oversouls and things of that nature. You're just breaking out of that now, just because where the solar system is at is going into the age of Aquarius. So you're breaking out of this 3D shit and being controlled by 4D natures, and now you're stepping into 4D and being able to understand 4D now. So you're able to take 4D experiences and experience them through human reality. So now that's why we're able to make electricity here, able to calculate time and shit like that, and do shit with time and do shit with magic and shit like that. So now 4D beings are getting weak and wanting to come down into 3D to try to control y'all on the 3D reference, and a lot of them be wanting, just like an oversoul is a 4th dimensional being. You see what I'm saying? It's less dense. It's not 3D anymore, so it's not bound by the surroundings anymore. It creates the surroundings. But before we get there, look, now as far as a 3D being, right, as an evolutionary path, your evolutionary path has to go through all the dimensions, and then that's when the energy can catch up, and then you'll be able to have a 4D vessel. So you got beings in every dimension. Remember, we're all on the same thing. We're all in the same orb, right? But you're only experiencing 3D dimensional beings, because that's the only conscious awareness of light you can receive in the vessel that you're in. So you can only perceive. You can't actually see outside of 3D, but you can perceive outside of 3D, because your third eye is attached to your soul, and your soul is like the messenger that you're with your spirit, between your body and your spirit. So your soul eye, your third eye, your one eye, your first eye helps you perceive fourth dimension and fifth dimension. You see what I'm saying? But from a three-dimensional vessel. You see what I'm saying? So once, now, like I said, now as a spiritual path, as a whole, everybody is slowly going into 5D and slowly leaving in 4D. Right? Now as a spiritual path, once everybody going to another 2,000 years, going to 7D, going to 8D, going to 9D, then once it start back over to 1D, then it's going to be compound. So as a vessel, you're going to have, it's going to be higher in frequency, not lower in frequency density. So what happens here is you're going to be starting on the one-dimensional path on the fourth dimension, in the fourth dimensional vessel. So you're going to be like an ant in a higher realm of reality. So how you are now, you may think, man, that's some super powerful shit to be there, but in that realm of reality, you still little to something. Like I said, it's a heaven and hell to no matter how high you go. There's always going to be a heaven to that hell. There's always going to be a hell to that heaven. No matter how high, no matter how low you go. Like, do y'all get me? My soul group get me. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't, we're going to come together and we're going to understand this shit. We're going to get there. But I'm telling you, because I already did this shit. You see what I'm saying? So as an evolutionary path, as frequencies, this is why you're able to perceive what you're able to perceive, and other people, third eye may be open enough, or their spiritual path, that their spirit is able to perceive the ninth dimension now. Like, this is knowledge I'm kicking you. I'm kicking you ninth dimensional frequencies from a third dimensional vessel. So a lot of times it may not make sense to a person who can't perceive. You know what I'm saying? Because and a lot of times you have a lot of atheists and a lot of people and religious people on earth, they third eye, they can't perceive that high dimension because they can't see it in the 3D dimension, because they take all they perceiving and only want to perceive what's in the 3D realm, when they are able to perceive the fourth dimension just by able to perceive time, able to calculate time. That ain't physical, but you're able to perceive it. So that's fourth dimension. There's bodies, there's beings in the fourth dimension. There's beings in the fifth dimension, right? Now, if you understand how time control you, how energies and how energies and shit control you, then that gives you the concept of how you can understand a fourth dimensional being could control a third dimensional being. You know what I'm saying? But you think that you thinking that ain't conscious because you can't see it in a third dimensional way. Do you get what I'm saying? But you be the same third dimensional dumbass being that'll take a one dimensional being and do shit with it. You know what I'm saying? Or a two dimensional being and do tricks with it with magnifying glasses and try to train it and shit and put chemicals on it and shit and put cups over it and shit and splash water up under it and kill it and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? Do you understand? These motherfuckers is doing the same thing to you, but you don't get it. You gotta get that high. See, I did this shit before, so I could get into experiences. But for me to tell you to experience a day up there, a day down here, you won't get it. You won't understand. And the whole video will be me deciphering words, telling y'all, like, I could call it a day right now, but it's not really a day. I can say it's one day, but it's really 2 days. I can say it's like time, but it won't be really time. See, the whole video will be about that than me actually telling y'all my experience. You see what I'm saying? So I need all y'all to come up higher so we can get on one level, so we can really understand this shit. So you can understand this shit and overstand it and understand it. For real. But that's what it's about. So you're on a three-dimensional path. And your spiritual path is only just risen to 5D because of the being that you in. And once you go into the next 2,000 years, go into 6D, when it's in the age of Capricorn, then it's gonna go into 7D, when it's in the age of Sagittarius. You know what I'm saying? And you can equate the signs. Then it's gonna go into your spiritual path is gonna go into motherfucking 8D, this age as a solar system go into the age of Scorpio, and then when they get into age of Libra, it's gonna go into ninth dimension. You know what I'm saying? Then go back to 1, Aries. But not 1 as an Aries. It's still gonna go into the age of Virgo. That's another video, because I'm gonna start confusing y'all, because it's like clocks over clocks over clocks. So when you looking down, certain things be the same thing. That's why 369 is the same thing. But the more down, the more in the density, the more experience it is, it's seen more separate. So when I say it back to Aries, I mean Aries as being 1, but it's on a higher frequency. So here it's going as an age in this density. They're still going into Virgo. See, I confuse y'all, so I don't really want to get in. See, that's how my videos will be consistent of if I really just dive into this shit. I'm eating fruit, smoking weed right now, so I'm kind of loose from the physical realm, even in general. But for the most part, that's how it plays out. You see what I'm saying? Now when it goes into once as an age, you motherfuckers get into the age of Libra, right? Then as a vessel, so once you get into the age of Virgo, your physical form is gonna mutate, mutable, aka mutable, change into the 4th dimension. So you're gonna keep coming back and have to experience the 4th dimension, whether you like it or not, whether you can handle it or not. Same way if you're a human, whether you can handle it or not. At some point on the evolutionary path, this the travels of the universe and the time span of the soul and spirit that you're connected with as far as the overall frequency. Just it has no at some point it has no choice whether you can handle it or not. You catch up with the evolution. But it plays out as a person of being a turbulent person. If you a human and you can't handle it, I hate being here, this, that, and the third, then you just on the evolutionary path, you just came to the point that you experienced it the past life so much, but it's still too late. You still have to experience the next evolution with everybody else, because the whole time and the whole oversoul or the whole over spirit of the frequency you as in general has traveled. So even if you just in the tail end of it, it may have took you a long time, because the top of the body may have been ascended, you may be in the feet and the tail of it, but eventually you come into that space where the upper body was at anyway, because the body is still traveling. So you may play out the lower ends of that whole existence and realm of reality, but you're still gonna be in it. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Do y'all know how to play that out through everyday life? You see what I'm saying? This real shit. But I'm gonna finish this motherfucking fruit right now. You know what I'm saying? Cause you know, I need my soul group. I need y'all to build on this, because you already know this. So it's not. I don't need to attack every single mind frame of how this can play out. That's what y'all for. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna build on this ship together. And our ship is going places. And we going up. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air.